Switch to the other crisis in the Middle East. Details are emerging of an apparent raid by Israeli special forces on a Hezbollah missile production facility in Syria. Local state news claims 18 people were killed and dozens injured on Monday in the raid near Meisyaf, about 40 kilometers north of the Lebanese border. The Israeli government has not commented on the operation, but according to U.S. media, Israeli special forces descended from helicopters, placed explosives inside the Iranian-built facility and removed sensitive information. 6 years ago, Israel attacked the facility and has mounted dozens of airstrikes against Syria since the war in Gaza began almost a year ago. But putting Israeli boots on the ground in Syria is an unusual move. And the World Health Organization has evacuated nearly 100 people, including dozens of children, from Gaza to the United Arab Emirates, according to WHO Representative Richard Peppercorn. This is considered the largest evacuation yet from Gaza, as it calls for a better and organized health system.
WHO, in collaboration with the UAE and partners, supported the medical evacuation of 97, 49 females and 48 males, sick and severely injured patients from Gaza to Abu Dhabi in the United Arab Emirates via Ramon Airport. 155 companions accompanied them. This was the largest evacuation yet from Gaza since October 2023. Patients included 45 children and 52 adults with a range of diseases. I'll not go in the numbers, but ranging from blood diseases, cancer, cardiovascular disease, congenital anomalies, ear conditions, endocrine diseases, eye conditions, immunological disorders, liver disease, renal disease, skin conditions, and of course, trauma, a lot of trauma. Gaza needs medical corridors. We need a better organized and a sustained system, not Spursy and ad hoc approach. We need a medical corridor to be restored, the traditional referral pathway from Gaza to East Jerusalem and West Bank to be restored as soon as possible. We need a referral pathway into Egypt and perhaps Jordan and of course other countries which are ready to receive Gazan patients. We still estimate that more than 10,000 Gazans need to be medical evacuators. Half of them probably the war-related, trauma-related injuries, and the other half the chronic patients. We are happy with this polio campaign. And I think we are also quite confident that we reached an enormous amount of children in this short time. And I think we are confident that we probably reached the target. What we want to reach 90% plus of our target, and then repeat it 4 weeks later. So far in the north, we've reached 105,909 children under the 10 years of age. In the middle area, 195,722, and in the south, 250,820. This brings us now to a total number of children vaccinated as of yesterday of 552,451.
Welcome back. Continuing with the war between Israel and Hamas, the United Nations has condemned Israel's attack on a school run by the UN Palestinian Refugee Agency in central Gaza. The strike left at least 18 people dead, including 6 UN staff members. United Nations spokesman Stefan Dujarric says the Secretary General is calling for a thorough investigation into the attack to ensure accountability.
The Secretary General condemns the death of at least 18 people, including children, women, and 6 UNRWA staff in Israeli airstrikes that hit a school serving as a shelter in Nuseirat on September 11th. This incident raises the number of UNRWA staff killed in this conflict to 220. The Israeli Defense Forces have stated that they had targeted a command and control center in the compound. This incident must be independently and thoroughly investigated to ensure accountability. The continued lack of effective protection for civilians in Gaza is unconscionable. Civilians and the infrastructure they rely on must be protected, and meet the essential needs of the civilian population. The Secretary General calls upon all parties to refrain from using schools, from using shelters and areas around them for military purposes. All parties to the conflict have the obligation to comply with international humanitarian law at all times. The Secretary General reiterates his call for an immediate ceasefire and the immediate and unconditional release of all hostages being held in Gaza. This horrific violence must stop. The question should also be directed at other parties in this conflict. We are working as hard as we can to keep that balance between keeping our staff safe and delivering the humanitarian aid that civilians so desperately need in Gaza. And we will continue to move forward on that. We've raised these issues at the highest levels of the Israeli government, and we will continue to do so.
Meanwhile, the White House has said that it's aware of Israel's strike at the UN school in Gaza. The Israeli military said it carried out what it called a precise strike on terrorists planning attacks from the school, and that it had taken measures to avoid harm to civilians. Hamas has denied this claim. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre noted that the U.S. is in touch with its Israeli counterparts to seek more information about the attack.
What I can say is obviously we're aware of the IDF strike in Gaza, and we are indeed concerned about there are reports of civilian casualties, so we are concerned about that. We're in touch with our Israeli counterparts to get more information in what happened.